thanks for coming back.
Yay!
See, we have teacher Mindy. Mindy, you are first one. Hey, Kim, Lori, James. James, hi, Kasie. Don't know why it says one waiting. I see two others besides me. No, I don't know, James. It's because it's my channel. So if it wasn't weird, it wouldn't be mine. Let's see. I like being able to read the chat here, but I won't stay here because I can't see my friends. Hi, Kasie. Don't know why it says. All right. Hey, somebody that has the YouTube up, can you just mute it? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad you have it up. So thanks for having my channel up there. Let's see. I'm still waiting for my live. Okay, let's start that one again. So, hey guys, thanks for coming. And why don't you introduce yourselves really quick? And I will get the live chat up on my iPad since it decided that it's going to go to a whole different live from yesterday. So, Leah, can you get started?
I am Leah Sparrow. I am an online teacher with 3 companies, OutSchool, VIPKid, and QKids. And I'm also looking into freelance teaching, which is what I'll be talking about today, how to market yourself as a teacher and become more independent and not rely on those companies because you don't want your eggs all in one basket. But the companies help because you learn the business. So awesome. Do we want to do a regular just introduction or do I
just around? We'll just go around real quick. Marianne?
Okay, Marianne, Shannon. So I work for VIPKid. I just started, working for OutSchool. I haven't taught a class yet, but I'm getting that started hopefully in a couple of weeks. Been with VIPKid almost 3 years and full time. So I just, that's all I've done. Eggs all in one basket. Sorry, Leah.
I did that for 2 years. That's why I was.
Yeah. That's why I'm going with OutSchool as a that's my other basket, if you will. So
there you go.
So yeah.
Good. Camille, you're up next. I'm trying to go
Hi, I'm Camille Raymer, and I also teach with VIPKid and OutSchool. I am also a half-time youth services librarian. So I am not quite an empty nester. I have 2 in college and 1 in high school. So everything I'm doing now is geared towards having the maximum flexibility once my kids are all in college. My husband is, he's worked for the same place. He's a researcher. He's worked there for his entire career. So he may be fortunate enough to retire a little bit earlier than most. And so I want to be able to support him in that retirement. Maybe we can have more flexibility together to travel and help our kids as they, start out their next phase of life. So.
Great. You don't look old enough to have kids in college.
Well, thank you. I told you I'd be camera ready. I'm usually not.
Yeah, I hear you. And Loreta, thanks for joining us.
Hi, so I'm Loreta. This next month will be my 1-year anniversary with VIPKid. So I work for VIPKid. Well, I teach in VIPKid platform as well as OutSchool. But I also have a full-time job. I am a university faculty member here in a university in Maryland. And I also do a lot of side work outside of OutSchool and VIPKid. So I do private tutoring, and I am also a dog trainer. And so that is my part-time positions, right? And probably everyone's wondering, like, why do you have so many jobs? Like, I do have a 20-year-old, almost 20-year-old son. He is in college. So I'm doing all the work. He has a full scholarship, but it doesn't pay for room and board. and because he's going to a private college, and I know with COVID and whatnot, that's kind of like topsy-turvy, but I still got to pay for his room and board, and that costs anywhere between $16,000 to $18,000 or $19,000. And so I don't want him to get a loan to pay for that, because I think it would be better for me to just pay for it, and then he can, when he graduates, it will be like great for him. It's like, he doesn't have that thing pulling him down. It's like having to repay loans and whatnot. So
yeah,
that explains all my part-time jobs.
I have friends that are I have friends that are just paying off student loans now as like, they're a little bit younger than I am. And I agree. I don't want my kids to have to start off with huge loans, It's okay for them to get a little taste of their own, but I don't want them having to
Yeah, I'm moving
I
my
mean-
son into his apartment this weekend. We found out that actually him being in an apartment is cheaper than being in the dorms
Oh yeah.
where he is.
Yeah.
And he's also having to learn how to do the budgeting on food. That we realized that meal plans actually for him, not all students are this way, but for him, the meal plan doesn't work out so well for him.
Right.
So
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
because, well, he likes macaroni and cheese. So I'm like $1 a box.
It was great for my son because he eats nonstop.
Yeah.
Or
So
he
he said he couldn't handle the food in the cafeteria. It made his stomach feel bad. And having Crohn's, I completely relate to that. But yeah, that's why I'm doing all of these side jobs, helping teachers market themselves, is to help pay for my son to go to college, and then hopefully not have to work my rear end off when I don't want to, and go travel.
So I have one that just got married and is out of college. He graduated and has his first like big job. They moved him into a place, so his new job pays for it. So
That's great.
one down, one to go. So my daughter is still in college, and she's in an apartment. But you were talking about the meal plan. For my son, he was an athlete his first couple years of college. So for him, he just kept eating. So that meal plan was great for us. That's all he did was eat.
He eats a lot. It's just I think he just can't handle the cafeteria food at the school where he is.
Yeah.
So but at the same time, I'm wondering if that's just an excuse to go to places like Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know who in the chat is also an empty nester, and did you start teaching after you became an empty nester or before? What about on the panel? Marianne, you shaking your head? Oh, sorry, Leah.
Go ahead, Marianne.
Oh, okay. That's okay. So I am an empty nester. So my daughters are, my youngest daughter is in her last year of college. Fortunately, in high school, she earned a year of college credits before she graduated.
Okay.
So she's finishing after 3 years, but then she's going to go on and get her master's. She's going into neuropsychology or something like that. So she's really smart. Like she gets that from my husband. So, but yeah, she's getting her first apartment this year, so much cheaper than, like you said, on campus. The meal plan is ridiculous. She got a really good scholarship, but yes, doesn't cover this,
Right.
and her college is about $45,000 a year. So, but with her scholarships, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was like, okay, that's doable. Anyway, so yeah, but I started 3 years ago. So my daughters, they were, I guess, just starting college. It actually worked out great for me because I was really involved with their high school years. Both my girls were in marching band, and all the festivals and tournaments they went to, I did all the cooking. And it was so much fun. There was about 105 kids in their band, and it was fun seeing them perform. Oh, if you've never been to a marching band performance, these kids work so hard. And so the timing worked out well, because once my one daughter, she was already in college, and so I took her room. I'm in her bedroom. It's my office now.
Right? Mine are already feeling like jealous still. They're like, wait, you're going to take a room away? And I'm like, you guys haven't been at home in years. Like, what are you going to do? They want me to save their rooms.
Yes, COVID messed that up.
My daughter's like, you're going to stay in my room? Like, it's a guest room now.
Yeah, I waited. I was out in our family room for a couple of years, and I'm like, okay, sorry, I waited to see. Because I kept joking about being a stay-at-home daughter. So, but anyway, so I started right after my youngest daughter started college. So,
And Marianne, you were a brick and mortar teacher first, right?
I worked, in the public school, and so this job, so awesome. I mean, so awesome, right? To be able to work from home is like a dream. Yeah. So
not having to pay for gas and travel. It's been nice. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And my husband works like 3 miles from home, so
nice.
we're pretty set. Yeah.
Good. So Loreta, how about you? Did you start this all after your kids moved out or?
Yeah.
One.
So yeah, only one kid. Yes,
Yeah,
one
one,
kid.
okay.
So he was 19 last year, right? So he started, he was a college freshman last year. And right as soon as after we sent him, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got to pay for this first. And obviously, I was a single mom for a very long time. And
Okay.
so we were, single mom, and I was a public school teacher. So whatever I made went into a mortgage and paying the bills. And I got him into a lot of different things. Like he was, he can play the piano, he has cello. So like he got all those lessons, and he had like golf and whatnot. So I was paying for all those, and father is not in the picture. So I don't even really get income support for that. Right. So it came to a point where I'm thinking, okay, I got to come up with like however many $1,000. It was like $16,000, $17,000. I'm like, yeah, I could break it up into a few months, right, for the term payments and whatnot, or I could have him take a loan. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to ask him. He could, like, he was like, okay, I'll do this, and I'll just take a loan, or you take a loan under my name, and I'll make sure I pay you back. But I don't want him to go through that. And so I'm like, well, let me research, and I had to find a job that would not conflict with my university position. And I don't get paid a whole lot of money at the university. So anybody who thinks that, university lecturers or professor get a whole lot of money, they don't really. It's like, well, not all of them, maybe if you're tenured and you're like a full professor and you've been there for a long time, then you do. But if you're just starting out, or if you've just been there, less than 10 years and you don't have tenure, you do not get paid a whole lot of money. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to make sure that I can do this job like outside of my working hours, right? Or maybe like after my working hours kind of thing. And so then I Googled and I found VIPKid. I did not know anybody who taught for VIPKid. And I'm just like, I'm just going to apply. And I have no idea whether this is legitimate or not. And I didn't have any referral coach or anything like that. So I just applied, and boom, 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 boom. Like I think it was within like 6 days or 7 days of me applying. It was over Labor Day weekend. That was when I did a lot of my research. I submitted everything, the smart demo, did it, and then, got accepted and whatnot, and then did my mock that the following, like a couple of days later, and didn't pass it the first time. I'm like, I'm doing it again, and then passed it the second time. And then I started teaching my first class. I think it was mid-September. By then it was mid-September. By then they did the background check and whatnot. And I'm so glad. Like, I love VIPKid. I love the fact that I could teach, outside of my regular working hours, and able to bring in the income. And then OutSchool was just added a couple months ago, which was what I started my OutSchool application it was in April. And I love VIPKid, but I love OutSchool. I love the fact that it's less time. Like, I do not teach so many hours, right? But I get more money per hour, and it's all going towards, like, everything I get from VIPKid and OutSchool goes towards like a separate account, and that's solely to pay for college room and board stuff. I mean, like, he's living off campus, but I'm still like, that's going to go to the landlord, that's going to go to like his food and whatnot. I have asked him to get a part-time job, but he's not taken to that yet.
I lucked out there. Both of my kids have jobs. They're like me. They can't not do something. Growing up, they had a choice, either a sport or a job, and both of them chose sports all the way up until 19 years old. So, okay, Camille or Leah, what about you guys?
I started 2+ years ago with VIPKid, and it was one of those situations. I worked in radio for a while, and then I had to go on disability because of Crohn's. They said that if I didn't get off the medication I was on, I would never have a child, and that the medication I was on I would eventually end up not being able to walk around because it was eating away at my bones and muscles. So I went on disability because as long as I was working, my disease was just not going to get any better. Right. Because it's very stress driven as well. So I decided to, go on disability. And then my ex-husband decided that he would do things that he shouldn't have. And we split up. And I ended up with a child on my own that was about 2 years old. And he is a blessing because he was not supposed to be. He came right at the perfect time when I got off the medication and reached the weight that I was supposed to be at, which I was way underweight. But then I reached the weight and got pregnant right away. And then his father and I split. and I had to come off of disability and go back to work. Well, I went back to work in radio, which is actually a pretty cushy job. The only problem is it's not stable. It's not stable at all. So then I had to find something else. And I thought, well, go back to school and get your master's and go into teaching, because that can be a stable job. Well, I started doing that and realized that on the medication that I was put on with immune suppressed system, and because of my disease, it was not a good idea to be in the little germ-filled world of
those little babies.
The little babies going, flick, here's a booger, are coughing right into my mouth. And I'm like, oh, great, good. I'm going to be in
disgusting, Leah.
Welcome to my world. So
I've been a kindergarten teacher for 8 years. I lived that world.
This was preschool too. So I said, okay, I can't do this. And that my bones started showing issues. I couldn't stand up. And you have to be able to stand up when you're teaching middle school students, because you have to walk around the room to go, what are you doing? So I decided to go find something. And for years, I sat there and tried to find, and came across, your typical online stuff. And then finally came across VIPKid and thought, this isn't real, because after you see time and time again, the stupid online, you work from home, give me $1 million and I'll make you a game. I thought, this isn't real. But then I started watching other VIPKid teachers, like Angela Silva and Nancy, all the people, Nancy Taylor, all the people we know.
Hey,
and I was
know them.
I know. I was like, this is real. Okay, so this is legit. Right. I'm going to give it a try. And I applied. I didn't have a coach, which I recommend you do get a coach, because I had no idea what I was doing, but still managed to get hired.
Yeah.
And then here I am, a single mom, and I've got my son, and it starts making some extra money for me, and money starts coming in, and I'm able to support him and feed him and clothe him and everything else. And that was 2+ years ago. So he was about 15 or 16, somewhere around in there. He's 19 now. He just turned 19. So now he's off to college. He's looking at astrophysics.
Nice.
So yeah, he's a little bit scary smart. I realized he was smart when he was about 5 years old, and we were playing a game, and I thought, okay, I'll pull one of these on him. We'll play this 3 more times, and then if we don't get through this one spot on the video game, we're done. And I thought, I could go 1. Okay, we're done. And he looked at me and said, Mama, we've played this once. We got 2 more times, because 3 minus 1 is 2. And I just went. So I had to get very creative with discipline from that point forward. But now it's becoming something that is, VIPKid helped me learn the business. That's why I wholeheartedly support these businesses, because they help you understand the business, they give you connections, and they help you network. And then you start learning more about OutSchool, where you start learning how to develop your own curriculum. And there's other companies out there that kind of do the same thing. There's Preply that's out there as well. Education First has actually been around longer than VIPKid. There's a lot of different companies. SplashLearn used to be an after-school program. Now they're taking on mathematics as an online company. So there's a lot of change going on, which means that, being from the radio biz, when there's a lot of change and a lot of competition, that means you have to adapt, and you can't rely on this one company always be the big dog, because sooner or later someone's going to come and take away some of the clientele that they have, and it's all going to plateau out, which I think that VIPKid is still strong. They're still one of the number 1 companies, but we're starting to see that plateau with some of these big companies that have been around for a while, like QKids and VIPKid, that have been around for a while, that because now they've got more companies coming up, and you've got COVID, so the students have more opportunities. And then you do have a lot more independent teachers, freelancers going out there and going private, which and the biggest thing about going private is that you can customize your lessons to your students. Whereas VIPKid, QKids, not to talk them down, I think they're wonderful, but can you stop down and say, okay, we really need to work on the N sound for N today? Can you really stop down and work on those sounds? No, because you have to teach within this amount of time. Whereas if you're an independent teacher, a freelance teacher, you can say, okay, today we're going to work on these sounds that you're having trouble with,
right,
and customize to your student. So those are the things that I'm learning right now, where I'm like, this is something that you can really you can mold it and make it what is yours. If you want to do VIPKid, you want to do Q Kids because of the stability, and you want to bring in the money from them because they're teaching you, they provide you with what you need.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine because I do it. I'm lazy. Give me.
And if you're new getting started online, those companies are great.
They are
or
perfect.
A new teacher and you need some experience. Those are great. Like Splash Learn, you have to have online experience first. So it's really good to get in with one of these companies and get the experience before you get on to other
There's just several
well.
different ways to go down this path.
Yeah.
And the most suggested is to go Q Kids or VIPKid, who's already filled in all those gaps of the curriculum, and they give you the workshops to learn how to do the biz. But once you start getting experience, such as ourselves, you can start branching out. And that's the amazing thing about being an online teacher, is that you can do anything you want to do.
Leah, we lost you.
Oh,
did we lose? Oh, there you are. You're back.
Am I back? That was fun.
All right, let's give Camille a chance to answer that one. So, Camille, did you remember the question or?
Yes. Well, yeah. Yes, it's because I feel like I kind of snuck in here. I am not quite there yet. I'm not an empty nester yet, and COVID probably has screwed up like the timeline for that. I love actually having my kids at home right now.
Yeah.
But I have one in high school. She's going to be doing virtual learning this school year. And then my oldest son is in college, but he will be doing virtual learning. And it's part of the reason that I started with these companies is he was in a very serious accident 3 years ago, just about 3 years ago. And so I traveled with him to hospitals for rehabilitation for 8 months. So I was away from home. I had to actually eventually quit my library job because I maxed out all the vacation and FMLA and all of that. Fortunately, I was able to jump back in it like a little over a year later. But I did not want to give up VIPKid. I just fell in love with it. And like I said, I'm trying to set myself up for flexibility. And I realized that this online teaching is a way to, set yourself up for working at home and travel and, choosing your own schedule. So I am just at the beginning of trying to figure out exactly, which direction I'm going to go. I love it. The question was, how do you stay motivated? I am a lifelong learner, which I think is why I love my library job as well. And I have come to realize that I do love technology.
Oh, my tolerance.
You found the lizard? The lizard's there?
Where?
It's right on your desk? Is it big? Is it a tiny one?
He's about like this.
Is your husband around to take it
No.
away from it? Oh!
It just like I'm sweating. He jumped, so I saw him jump.
Do you have
put a cup over it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you have a cup that you can put over it,
Or
like a bowl? Yeah.
Oh,
what are you going to do?
We're good. He's just gonna sit and hang out, and I'm just.
He's there, like right there in front of you.
Huh?
At least he's not gonna.
There's another desk a couple of feet away.
At least he's not gonna fall in your mouth.
Oh my god!
Or jump at you.
I should have blocked the door so he can't run out, and my husband can come in here later. Okay, sorry everybody. I'm so sorry, but I need a fan.
I was in on those initial discussions, so I understand. I understand the lizard fear.
Mindy told me I should water it and leave food and water out for my new pet.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm so sorry, Camille. It just made me jump because I didn't expect to see it jump.
Yeah, I don't blame you. No, so I think that's my story. I mean, I will, keep teaching. I'm trying to build up a following without school and then seeing, I teach tech. And so I'm thinking something along those lines, for down the road. Less stuff,
Hey, Camille, you're in the Nancy Taylor group with me, right?
I am.
That's how we got connected. Okay.
Yep.
And Loreta and Leah and Marianne and I are in our collaboration station group.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
So I read something here. Let's see. James said, my oldest is 35, but now remarried and have a 9-year-old. Lori said, I was a B&M teacher as my kids started college. Now I teach online so I can enjoy grandkids and traveling. Aw.
Yep. Aw.
Lori, cute. Let's see. Hey guys, I forgot to say it. If you have questions for me or for the panel, please put them in caps. Camille, you're probably the only one that doesn't really know. Oh, you guys are mixed up on my screen now. When I look this way, this is the live chat. So people are asking questions and talking in the chat. So I'm not really trying to be rude, and I'm keeping an eye on the lizard. So I can't wait to read the bottom where everybody sees me jump.
I'm back.
Hey, Leah's back. Were you
Your
here for the
lizard scared me. Yes, I heard it, so I ran away. No. No, what happened is my cousin came to, I'm getting a new computer.
Oh, fun. I got one.
So
exciting.
what came was my external hard drive, and she sent me a picture and she said, it arrived like this.
Oh,
And I said, yes, please come and bring it to me.
yeah.
So she brought it to me. I think it's fine. But I was like, I think they just picked up the box and it just probably popped open when they picked it up. But I was like, oh.
So one of the questions I wrote down was, how's it going? How are you guys doing being empty nesters? Loreta, you're big. I hear ya. I've been so sensitive the last couple of days. When I was writing this down, I'm like, I don't know if I should go here. But I will say there's a lot of videos for stay-at-home moms and things. And I was looking for ones about empty nesting because we are a whole different. It's just different, and people keep telling me, oh, you have all this time. You're an empty nester.
No, you don't.
You have time. And I just, oh God, it's jumping. Oh, I just don't want it on me.
Everything's going to be
Kasie, go
okay.
get a bowl.
Yeah.
Go get a bowl. We'll wait.
Do you have something?
talk.
Do you have something
Put
in
a
the
bowl
back?
on top
Yeah.
of it.
It's good.
That should be fun to watch.
Just said it's
Kasie
good.
running around with a bowl trying to cover up
She
the
does
lizard.
does not want to go close to that lizard at all. I can
This
tell.
is empty nester
I'm
life,
not
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not afraid it can hurt me or anything. And I would
It's just like icky. It's just icky.
if I knew I could catch it, I would. But
Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't want to catch it.
jump
Put the
on
bowl
me.
on it.
You could catch it, but you don't want it to jump on you.
Yeah, I control. I've held them before, like from my husband's
I get
hand.
that.
You know what I mean?
They're not allowed to just run around on your body.
No. And all I can see is his tail now, the little creeper. Okay, everybody.
Mindy wants to see the lizard.
Oh, you have a pet now.
Oh, I can't show you that pile of mess over there.
It's time for show and tell.
Yeah.
Well, somebody said at
Anyway.
least it's not a mouse. At least
And
it's a lizard,
Lori's,
not a
yeah,
mouse.
Lori said it's
True
not.
story. True story.
Lori, yep.
Oh, see, I didn't even see that yet.
She can't even do her job. There's a lizard in the house.
I know. All I see is-
The lizard wants to be part of the discussion. Maybe it's an empty nester.
It is an empty nester. All the eggs have hatched and gone off on their way.
in my house. It had babies last night when it ran in. Okay, back to empty nesting.
Meanwhile,
So let's see, who's been an empty nester the longest?
I've been an empty nester for 2 years. No, for one year. 1 year, sorry.
I'm
One.
4.
You are probably the longest.
4
I don't
years.
know. I
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna ask myself. So, Leah, how's empty nesting been for you?
Well, my son is one of those independent people who doesn't want to be at home at all. So he's wanted to go off on his own, which he has done. However, I am still the one that is basically, the bank.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest part is telling them, even though they have this idea that they're adults now and have complete control over their life, is having to tell them, no, you cannot have that. That's
Right.
it seems like to me he still wants to live the life that he had with me, not understanding that it's not like that anymore. Now you're on your own. So now welcome to the real world kind of thing. You
Isn't it
don't
hard as a
start
parent
here.
to do that too?
Huh?
Isn't it hard as a parent to do that? Like
It is hard. It's very hard to say no because I want him to have this perfect, wonderful world, but he has to grow up, and the only way to do that is to scrounge for quarters in his car so he can wash his clothes like I did.
I can't say I haven't slipped my kids some money and extra groceries and stuff. So I'm like, bye, love you. Here.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I don't have a husband for that.
Send the money through Zelle. That's what I do sometimes. Like,
really?
and I won't even tell him. Then he was like, "Hey, I got this much now in my bank account." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, it's hard. Well, he doesn't ask for much because he has But he has thrown you're wasting your money for me to go to school and not do well. And I said, well, that is part of the agreement. But remember, if you don't do well, I don't give you anything at all, because if you don't go to school, you don't get anything. And he's, well, yeah.
Yeah. We did too. We're like,
and that's hard to do. That's hard to say to your child, but otherwise they're going to be 40 and living off of you. We can't have that.
Ours was a little bit different though, because we came from Germany. So both of my kids left before my husband and I. So when I first left, he was going into a whole other country by himself, which was the States.
Oh, wow.
He had never lived in the States in 17 years, you know?
Wow.
And his first thing was, or that I remember was, Mom, they call train stations like a roof with sticks holding it up, because, you know, the train stations in Germany and Japan were great. And then my daughter left a couple of years later for college. So for the two of them, it was, you know, and then I was home by myself and I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? You know, I didn't know what to do. So
it does seem quiet because your whole schedule kind of changes. You were used to waking up this child to go to school, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now
they're both in sports and
well, yeah, your whole world was like, okay, at 7:30 we got to leave for school. At 2:00 I gotta go pick them up, and then at 5:00 they have this, or you know, whatever it was. Or I've got to make my schedule for VIP Kid around this big sport event because my son played basketball. You know, I've got to rearrange. Now it's like, okay, I guess I'll just teach all that. But then suddenly the world has decided that they're going to take over where your son didn't.
Then your house like starts breaking and you're like, oh, now I have all these appointments or something.
And lizards come in. I mean,
I'm gonna take a picture of it. You guys, okay, who's next? I'm going to take a picture of the lizard. You guys,
oh, yay.
Who wants to go next?
So go ahead, Loreta. How's
All
it
right,
going?
okay.
If it jumps, you're gonna hear me yell.
How's it going as an empty nester? It's awesome, actually. You know, I mean, I love being a mom, and I was a first grade teacher for a very long time, taught elementary school, and I love kids. But there was a point in time I was like, I just need my alone time. It's like I didn't have, so none of my family members live in this country. They're all in Singapore, elsewhere. And so immediate family, like I did not, like I had to rely on a babysitter if I needed to do something. There was no way, like I couldn't just like go to my parents' house or my sister's house, like, hey, can you take care of Joshua for a little bit? There was no way that I could do that. So he was always with me, and I have this thing about, oh my gosh, like I don't know whether I can trust that babysitter. So I have issues with that. And so he wasn't with very many babysitters, except if it was like a friend who kind of volunteered to help. Then I'm like, okay, well, I know you from work, or I know you from whatever that we're doing. So I was okay with that. So for the longest time, right, he was with me and we did everything together. He's great with like adults, you know. It's like because I took him everywhere. Like I would take him to when we had professional development sessions for school, and it's like on a Saturday or whatever, and I don't want to go. He just comes with me. He just does his own stuff. So there was a point in time where I'm like, okay, I'm just ready for like just like my alone time away from, you know, my kid. And I know it doesn't sound that good, but it's like I just needed that break. So when it came time to like college time, like, wow, this is exciting, right? I'm gonna have all this time. Like I don't have to drive him to places. I don't have to, I don't know, prepare breakfast and dinner and, you know, all that. Or wait around while he's in his golf tournament because, you know, I'm watching it and following. Like, I have to do all that. And it's like, oh, I'm going to have all this free time. But, you know, last year after I dropped him off, I'm going like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do now? It's like, I don't have all these things. And I was freaking out. It's like, you know, the lady who wanted to have this free time, I was actually freaking out. I'm like, I wonder what he's doing now. Like, it was obsessing me. And then I had to feel that. And right when it was obsessing me was also about the same time when I started like doing my journaling. I'm like, you know, instead of obsessing about this, why not fill in that free time with making sure that I get enough money to pay for the stuff that we need? And so that's how I filled my empty, well, you know what, not just that. So I prepared for this empty nester kind of situation back in 2016 as well. So in 2016, when looking ahead, I knew he was going to go to college. He wanted to go to college. He's a naval engineer, engineering major. So what I did was I started adopting dogs. So I adopted my first dog first dog in 2016. And then I adopted my second in 2016, about 5 months later. And then I adopted my third dog in 2016. It's also 3 dogs in 2016, 1 dog in 2017, another dog in 2018. So I have 5 dogs. Guess what? So instead of just teaching, I also spend a lot of time with my dogs. And that's awesome because they really, really make you feel like, you know, you're their, I mean, like you're their world. When you have dogs or animals, right? It's like you're their world. And so, yeah, so I don't feel as bad anymore being an empty nester. Like when my son goes off in a couple of weeks, in about 2 weeks, right? I don't think I'll feel as bad anymore, like how I did last year.
I'm trying to find it. Well, there's a dog out there for me. I just haven't found it yet.
But you
My
want a
daughter-
puppy. But you want a puppy, right?
I don't know. It's just one's gonna find me that needs a home, and my daughter sent me a picture of one. Sorry, I can't find it. My daughter sent me a picture of one that needed a home, but somebody must have claimed her because they didn't get back to us. They said 3 days, and it's been 5 or
I
6.
see.
Maybe the lizard is right next to your chair.
Maybe.
Stop scaring Kasie. Stop it. Just stop it.
Whatever. Leah, if she had some gifts of scary lizards, they'd be all over the screen right now.
Here you go.
Her and Kasie get their gifts.
I have 2 horses and 2 dogs and a cat. So, but I've always had the horses and dogs and cats.
Marianne, how about you? Do you have
Marianne.
animals? Like,
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. So I do have a dog, which is kind of like having a toddler. I was working as a camp director for 3 summers before I started during VIPKid. And one day we came home and there was a dog in our cul-de-sac. It's 95 degrees. So we took her in, and turns out the owners didn't really want her. So what do you do, right? You know, so so now wherever she is, 3-4 years later, and it's like having a toddler. She follows me everywhere, and it's cute, but sometimes it's like, you know, go do your thing. But so empty nesting has, I mean, it's been really good for me. I feel like I spent a lot of time with my daughters. I homeschooled them for a few years, and I was always with them as much as possible and involved in all their school activities. And so I feel, you know, I feel like I did my job as a parent, as a mom, and invested a lot of time with them, because, you know, when you have kids, your time is not your own. And then when they grow up, and of course you teach them to be independent as possible. And I remember when I was an adult, and gosh, you don't realize how much your parents did for you or do for you. And it's like, what? Well, you know, car insurance and health insurance and all these things pop up. So when they turn 18, I mean, some people think, oh, you're an adult, goodbye, good luck.
Yeah.
And no, it's a process. It takes them a while. Their brain is actually still forming until like age 25. They still have that, you know, younger child brain. Yeah. So it's a process, and it takes time, and I'm happy to help them. I'm like you, I'm like, here's some money, or I did really well this month at VIPKid, you know, and it's like, I'm happy to share it with them, or whatever. And it's, of course, today it's easy just to transfer money. And, so yeah, my daughter, like she was home because of COVID. So it was really nice being able to see her more. And my other daughter's like 3 hours away, which isn't far, but it's far, you know. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been great. My husband and I have kind of reconnected because I spent a lot of time with them and their activities, and he's working. Yeah. So it's been really nice for us. You know, it's like, you don't have to lock the doors anymore. Just kidding.
We're like 40 and dating again. I'm like,
yes. It's like you reconnect. You get to know your spouse again. I mean, that's what I feel like. We actually get to spend some quality time together. And well, as a mom, you know, it's like, that's your job. And I know you're supposed to date your husband and all that, but so yeah, so it's been good. And I took care of my dad for right after my youngest daughter started school. My dad went into assisted living. I helped clean out his house. We had an estate sale. I actually quit my job and took care of him for a while. And that was a blessing, but it's all worked out. The timing was perfect,
Right.
you know? And so, yeah, there is no downtime. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, because now I'm doing the projects that I've been wanting to do, you know, that no big deal, but, you know, yeah, different
Right.
things that are finally getting done. So yeah, we're all supposed to go on vacation together, and I'm really excited because we haven't gone anywhere for a while. So,
Yeah.
okay, next.
You're so funny. I will say, I got really down when I first moved back to the States. I had already been an empty nester for a couple years, but I still had my kindergarten job. So I still had my babies in kindergarten. But when I moved back to the States and had no job and no kids here, and my husband went to work and I didn't have a car yet, that's when I started VIPKid. I was like, I'm by myself all day, every day. So
that was just last year?
yeah, I've been here for a year. Yeah.
Wow.
So Camille, what do you think? You have one more left to go and then.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to a lot of what you guys are saying. And I think that is why I am like anticipating all this, especially Loreta, when you talked about like your brain. My brain is always working. And especially since my son's injury, he's a quadriplegic. And so I have mom worry brain constantly. And so I need to keep my brain busy. And this has really filled that as well. So
Yeah.
you know, COVID too, like he is at high risk for complications from COVID. So our world has just turned upside down with COVID. And so he will be home again. And my daughter, she's heading back to college. So she's the only one that's leaving again now. So again, I'm finding myself with mom worry brain. And so I'm glad you invited me to join your little cohort here today, because this kind of is fun. And I really enjoy it. And again, I can relate to what you're saying, Loreta.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
So when my son actually got COVID, and you know, he's married now, but you still want to be mom, you know what I mean? So the only thing I could think to do was go online shopping for food and everything, because they're not supposed to leave the house or anything, him and his new wife. So I'm like, all right, what do you guys want? Like, I'll get some food, and then at least I feel like I can be a mom and help out that way, you know? I don't think that's gonna ever go away. What's
Kasie,
that?
I just got, earlier this week, I spiked a fever, and so I went and got my COVID test. It's negative.
Yay!
So, yeah,
You look better. You were mentioning you were pretty sick there for
a couple of days.
Yeah.
I had shingles. I really think it was the downside of that. I don't know.
Your body was still fighting it, maybe?
I think so. I had it for almost a month. I didn't go to the doctor because it's like, I know what it is. And I just used aloe vera, like I bought a plant, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And, but anyway, yeah. So now we're free and clear to go on vacation.
Yay!
We were waiting for.
So glad.
Anyway, yeah.
That's great. Let's see. Mindy said, I'm guessing after my daughter leaves, we might be doing more eating out, and I have big plans for spaces in our house that will now be empty, like an exercise room. Yeah, maybe I'll get into shape. Mindy, come on my journey with me. Marianne and I are starting to walk and keep each other accountable. So
yeah,
I went to the doctor yesterday. I'm getting like a whole like panel done, so I know my starting numbers, cholesterol, and everything. And I've got to get back on it. It's been like months since I've been consistent. 3 weeks. I've only gone for a walk once in 3 weeks, and that's not like me. Normally it's
every day.
Steps sometimes. Like, I love it, but yeah, I just wasn't motivated. But now I'm back, ready to go. Lori said, "I'm sure you will love it, Mindy." Mixed blessing. Yeah. I'm trying to catch up in the chat. I love your shirt. Oh, thanks. I got this from Brand Me Tees. Joanne was on my channel, and she sent me this one. So I got to choose which one I wanted, and of course it was a baseball t-shirt. Micah said he doesn't think men become men until 25 to 30. When you're talking about the brain at 20 until 25.
Yes, and some even later than that.
Yeah, because our executive functioning doesn't really get completely formed until you're in your early 30s. So that's the executive functioning, which makes decision and all that. And so yeah. So it makes sense.
Yes.
Loreta, what do you teach at the university again?
I actually teach. I am actually in the School of Education, so I teach undergrads as well as graduate students who are in education. So either in their master's program to get the reading specialist, or undergrad students who are going to be teachers.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Good.
That's cool.
Lori said COVID has really helped people reconnect. With COVID, my mother came to live with us because she has cancer. Talk about feeling like a toddler follow you around the house again. Roles can reverse quickly. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Micah said he was a late bloomer. Camille, I love your classroom.
Thank you.
It's not a backdrop?
No, it's like that contact paper it's in a basement. I'm in a basement. And these
Everything looks so perfect.
Yeah.
I thought even like the stuff on your wall was a backdrop because everything just looks like it's then you look at
really
mine.
Yeah. I'm in a basement. So it's like one section of wall that my husband said he's like, sure, go ahead and put that stuff up. And I think after we did it, he liked the way it turned out. So
yeah.
I like it too.
You've got great lighting, even though you're in the basement. So what lighting do you use?
I have those big box lights that
okay. The like studio box lights.
Yeah, teachers.
Okay,
I bought the ones that
Right.
teacher Samantha recommended. They do. They're very nice.
Yeah.
And no other windows or anything. So
I don't think any of you sent me links to add below. So if anybody wants any, I was just thinking about that. We are all VIP Kid teachers. I think we're all out school. If one of us connect with you that way and you want more information, reach out to any one of us because I know we all have different personalities. I'm obviously loud and obnoxious, but if energy is your thing, I might be for you. But we will add some links below. So if there's a teacher that fits your personality and you're thinking about Out School or VIP Kid or any of the other ones we mentioned, we'll put links below. And that way there we can.
Sorry, I spent most of my time on the phone. Apparently, I'm going to go see my son tomorrow. I haven't seen him in a year to help him move into his apartment. And the boarding people for the puppies want to argue about their records. So I have to go fix something.
No.
It's never ending, even when you have baby puppies.
Right? Micah said he got his Out School application approved. He's waiting on the background.
Good.
I was my grandmother caregiver at the end of her life, and she was like a 4-year-old. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Loretta's in the chat.
Yes, I am. I'm replying to Micah because I know even like yesterday he was asking, do we teach for the video for Out School?
Yeah, I saw that.
And so he must have just submitted it yesterday, and so he got the approval very quickly.
Yeah, he did.
Loretta, I sent in my application on one day. It was denied the next day. Resent it in. It was accepted the next day.
Right.
And my background check took 6 hours.
Right.
8 hours. Like everything was super
So some of my referrals take like within 48 hours, they got everything approved, right? Kind of like what you were mentioning. But then I've had referrals who like they have to wait like several days before they get approved. And then after that, they have to wait a whole week before their background check comes back. So it's very inconsistent. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's dependent on like where the application goes to. I'm sure like there are several different people or several different that's in the department that's handling it. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
I wonder if it's like, oh, this one has a teaching degree. Let's go look this sooner, or I don't know.
I don't know because like most of my referrals do not have a teaching degree, and
that's what I'm saying.
Like they get approved very quickly. No, but like one of my recent one, she doesn't have she got approved within 48 hours, and then another one does have a teaching degree, and it's taking like 10 days.
Yeah. I've heard that it does depend on where you are.
Oh, you mean like which state you live in?
Yeah, I don't know if they do the back. You would think that they would do the background check where the headquarters is, but I don't know if it's
your
like
state,
where
right?
you are. Yeah, I don't.
That could be.
Yeah, somebody said that, but I mean that makes sense for it to have such an irregularity.
Cindy's took a while.
Mine took about 5 days.
I remember Cindy's took like for a long time, and she was waiting. Yeah.
Let's see. Late last night on Out School, I am teaching in my wheelhouse, and you see in my video that I'm passionate and knowledgeable. Maybe they want more PE teachers because he is a PE teacher. So
there we go. Who knows? I mean, it's always this, there's always that level of, we don't know really exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Right.
Always, regardless of what language they speak, there's always a level you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, this has been a great chit chat. I know we kind of got off the topic of empty nesting, but it's just so nice to see everybody in chat that we just can't help it sometimes. I don't know if Camille knows, but do you know Kristen from Kristen's classroom? Her and I had a chit chat that was like 2.5 hours, and we had like 20 people in the chat just hanging out talking with us. So
that's fun.
I think people now just need some chat time with friends.
Back and forth, socializing. Yes.
Yeah. If you have any other ideas for interviews or videos, let me know. This idea came from Mindy, who's in the chat with us right now. She wasn't able to.
Empty nesters.
Yeah, she's the one that talked about this. And next Friday should be 10 things I wish I knew before starting online.
Oh, geez, I have that on my website.
What's that?
I have that on my website. It's 5 things, though.
Okay. She sent that to me the same time she sent this. So a few weeks back, she had sent that idea. And I was like, oh, perfect. I was confused for a moment. Oh, I don't even know what she's talking about.
Casey's always confused.
Yeah.
Casey's always confused.
I am. But I think Camille's got some sass. She sent a gift that quick to you. So
yeah, she did. I think she's part of the club now. She's been initiated.
I like a good gift.
What's that?
And I like a good gift.
See? There you go. Now we can just gift our minds out.
Do you guys know who Scott Herr is?
Scott Herr.
Is he a VIP kid teacher, Micah? Daniel
Daniel's.
Kai. I have sent.
Oh yeah.
I've sent Daniel messages. I haven't heard back from him, but I've tried to get him on. I think Micah, you told me to message him before, and I just can't get him back on.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but I'm always looking to interview different people, so it's fun. I love to talk, obviously.
None of us do. You've talked the whole time.
Yeah, right? Hey, conversation. Bump me out. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to go on a lizard hunt. And
Yay!
I will see you guys all later. I will post a picture if I can find him again.
So you now need to sing the song. I'm going on a lizard hunt.
Yeah.
Instead of a bear hunt.
Somebody say,
Gonna catch a little one.
My husband was singing that to me last
I'm not
night.
scared.
No. Look.
Can you do a video of you finding the lizard?
I think it would be great.
A clue. I'm the lizard.
If my boxes were unpacked and everything in this office looked better, I would totally take you guys on the lizard hunt.
Oh no, but the boxes make it better. Because then it's like, what's behind this box?
I was hoping he didn't run in here because this is the room where we shoved all the boxes and crap in.
You can say things like crikey.
Oh, I need Kasie Morrow to come help me.
And then you all get out school class right there hunting for lizards.
That's what you should do. Hunting.
How to catch a lizard. Like how to catch a dragon.
How to catch a lizard and do it as a flex class. Just like
I'll let one in every week or something.
New lizard, new day.
What is it this time?
Name that lizard.
As soon as I opened the door, guys, he was on the stoop. Is that what you call it? The step right there, and just ran right in as soon as I opened the door.
You know, I hate squatters.
I know, right? They're on my patio and everything, and I'm fine.
What's the weather like right there right now? Is it raining or is it about to rain?
No.
Okay, so it's sunny and it's inside. That's weird. Lizards usually like the sun.
Yeah, because it's cool inside your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. A cat was after him and he was trying to get away. He was knocking on your door. Help me.
They're always right there. They've just never tried to come in before. I mean, and it's AC. That's probably why he's in this room. The AC is not strong in this room, so.
That could be why he is. He's looking for
video
warmth.
the lizard hunt.
Yes, you should. You definitely should.
I can see you guys are all on my side here.
You definitely should.
It would be
and then you should
fabulous.
add the song, like I'm going on a lizard hunt. I think it's
You need to get dressed up, get your little
Yes.
hat.
yes. You really totally should do a video mash of it. Yes.
Oh,
It
I
should
can hear it.
happen.
All right, I'm out.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.